accept the fact that the city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportions. What is Old Testament? Real wrath of God type stuff. Fire, stuff, the sky, rivers, seas, boiling. Human sacrifice, dogs and cannons living together.
The early 1900s, a time of audacity, innovation, and the triumph of the human spirit over the limitations of nature. It was those years that we first flirted with the idea of geoengineering. Picture it. Visionary minds fueled by idealism looking to the skies, dreaming of altering the fabric of your reality. Back then, among the plumes of industrial smoke and the nurturing hands of farmers, we began experimenting with methods. And that method is cloud seeding. A sprinkle of silver iodine to coax rainfall from reluctant clouds. The promise, the hope. Could we harness the elements? There was something intoxicating about it. Remember, this is the early 1900s. The prospect of controlling nature itself, bending it to our will, to feed the hungry, to harvest bountiful crops, or to use it as a weapon of destruction if we feel that it might be necessary. Yet as the world turned, I would tell you that things continued. What was that? What? Hold on a minute. What? Exactly. The world in which you knew continues as it is. Geoengineering. The idea of weather manipulation, weather modification, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Here on the 12th day of October in the year 2024 at 11:33, the technology here in the station has been completely disrupted. Yes, I did have it planned to talk to you about really what has transpired. I had it all laid out, and there was something that we were going to talk about. And that was whether or not God controls the weather, or does man control the weather? It is something that seems quite difficult to understand, but as I was sitting there going over things, it's very interesting the fact that all of the patents, that's right, all of the patents that the US government has on file that I had pulled up on my iPad just suddenly decides to shut down. Because here I am, the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, setting the standard, raising the bar, doing what I have done, beating nationally syndicated radio shows. And I know that there are people out there that control the silly old advertising that sit there and say, oh, well, Sam, just because you did that and you're broadcasting doesn't mean a damn thing. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, just because you have your own radio show here on WDCE doesn't mean that it is nothing but garbage. Because here I am setting the standard, raising the bar. You can keep sucking the corporate tit, and all I'm going to tell you right now is that there's a reason why that everything was deleted before I started doing this broadcast. You think it has everything to do with anything? I'm going to tell you what it has to do with. It has to do with that years ago. Oh, well, damn it, here it goes. Listen, I'm telling you right now. Now I'm getting information from Instagram saying, oh, paused, poor connection. Oh, where, poor connection. I'm getting sick and tired of this because here I am, an award-winning radio media puppet, and I'm just getting listen, every single time I sit there and have something to talk about, something goes wrong. The internet goes down, everything happens, and then all of a sudden you guys want to sit there and tell me that, oh, it's just technical issues and blah, 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 blah. Listen, is it technical issues when all of a sudden the government can control your damn weather and then wreck all of North Carolina? They're going to wreck Florida, and they're going to wreck everything else. And then you want to sit there and say, hey, well, wait a minute. You're just a media puppet on the radio just talking nonsense. And maybe I am. Maybe I am. Maybe it is the fact that I had all of the patents that are government, your government. Hell, you know what? It's not my damn government. I'm not voting. You are. You think that your vote matters. And I'm telling you right now, it doesn't mean a damn thing because they shot JFK in the head in a Dallas parade back in 1963. And then in 1969, they had a bunch of people dancing around with Stanley Kubrick on the moon. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, well, this is great. This is great. Oh, my God. You know what? Humanity is moving forward. That's not the case. Would you just wake up? I'm sitting there getting tired of this. This has to be because of General Shue. It's because of General Shue. Listen, I don't want to sit there and talk about. No, wait, pause. Listen, Tommy, I don't know what your other name is. Tommy and the other guy, the guys in the black suits. Listen, pump the brakes. No, don't you dare go over like, don't you dare do it. Don't you come into this room. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I have the men in the black suits with very fancy Ray-Ban sunglasses in the back of the studio here on the other side of the glass with all of our producers and whatnot. What are you talking about? Don't get upset that I'm being upset. There are things that are happening all over the place. And one of the things that I'm going to tell you right now that you need to do is you need to be listening to the show before this show. Listen, I'm telling you what right now, if you're having an aneurysm the way that I'm having an aneurysm right now, you know what you need to do? You need to be getting lost before this show. How do you get lost? Make sure you're listening to WDCE 90.1 FM. From what time is it? It is from 7 to 9. You know, we used to do 7 to 9. So listen, I don't want to hear anybody, B&M about it. Not BM like your bowel movement, but I'm talking about bitch and moan. I don't want to hear anybody say anything about it. We did 7 to 9 for years. We did. And you should be listening to art every single Saturday before you listen to the show. You know who you also should be listening to is mixtapes after the show. Here I am having an aneurysm. I want to sit there and just rant and rave as I'm going off the cuff because it seems like everything is messed up. The music is messed up. No, I don't want to sit there and hear all of you guys talking about it behind the glass. That has nothing to do with it. Listen, what you guys do and push buttons and move sliders, all that does is just make sure that I'm so much better than you. Hell, you know what? If I were to get if I were to get some other host in here to sit there and come part-time, you know what? They would probably be paid more than you. Because I've heard that's part of the thing all over across the country. I was like, well, nobody gives a damn about the producers. But you know what? We're going to pay the guest host and the fill-in host much more than the producers, because the producers are just garbage. Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. My producer produces this show, and they also produce another radio show which has been winning awards, has continued to winning awards, and the host is continuing to be all over what? All over the news. That's right, Fox News. What is it? Newsmax. News Nation. It doesn't really matter. My producer is setting the standard and raising the bar, and then you want to sit there and ask me how I'm setting the standard and raising the bar? Well, damn it, are you listening to me and what's going on? We've been doing this for the last 6 years, setting the standard and raising the bar every single Saturday morning. People ask, well, Sam, where are you going to go? The holiday season is coming, and it seems like that you are on a trajectory that might lead you to somewhere else. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, a little behind the scenes. We're going to continue to set the standard and raise the bar. Whether it be here on a college radio signal, and hell, you know what? Even if we do get a contract on a corporate signal, we still might just come here every once in a while to set the standard and raise the bar on a college signal. Why? Because there is no one that is competing. Do you think that anybody in talk radio is competing with me? Seriously, think about that. Is anyone in talk radio competing with me? Oh, well, only because they might be funded by the deep state. They might have a little lapel pin that has something from the CIA or some other nonsense. Can I tell you about the little lapel pin that I have right here? The little lapel pin right here. I'm going to tell you, this lapel pin right here was given to me by Mr. McFeely. Do you know who Mr. McFeely is? Mr. McFeely is the mailman of the neighborhood of make-believe. And I'm going to just tell you right now that the mailman for the neighborhood of make-believe gave me this lapel pin to make sure that all of you know that here, as a real award-winning media puppet, setting the standard and raising the bar, that I am here, once again, as an award-winning media puppet, setting the standard, raising the bar. The reason why I have this lapel pin is because Mr. McFeely said that I'm an honorary member of the neighborhood of make-believe. That's right. This pin, ladies and gentlemen, that you see on this lapel right here, this pin, that is the trolley. That trolley solidifies me as the only representative from the neighborhood of make-believe that can really tell you guys really what is going on. I say guys, I mean gals, I mean it doesn't really matter. Guys and gals, let me just tell you right now, this lapel pin that you see was gifted to me by, yes, Mr. McFeely. And that means that I am a representative of the neighborhood of make-believe. So while we can sit there and bitch and moan about all this other stuff that is going on in the world, just know that every Saturday morning, here I am. Whether it be talking about all the stuff we've talked about this morning. We've talked about things with Professor Deep Cut Dave. And you know what? I had a whole series to go after geoengineering because we have, oh, what's his name? Do we have? Did you guys get that for us? Did you get us a copy of that? I really wanted to get a copy of this. Oh yeah, okay, here it goes. Oh my god. Okay, so just for a moment, can we just go over the local news media nonsense here in Richmond, Virginia? We should, and we might do it because God bless it. What is it, Citizen Germ? Don't you have pictures with you and Gene Cox when you were a kid? Right. Okay. So then there was this guy who decides to show up on NBC 12 and says, oh, well, his mentor was Gene Cox. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this is what he says. And I quote from Kurt Autry from WWBT 12, which is the NBC affiliate here in Richmond. I'm getting pushback. I'm getting pushback for stating what reasonable people consider a fundamental truth, that nobody controls the weather. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Kurt Autry, who was the voted best news personality. Can I tell you the reason why? The reason why Kurt Autry was voted best news personality and why I am not is because we have a little tiny 8-mile signal that goes over here. And we've been doing stuff on social media. So I don't give a damn about Kurt Autry, and I don't give a damn about his mentorship from Gene Cox. Just because you took a picture with Gene Cox when you were a kid, Citizen Germ, doesn't mean anything, because here is the problem. Kurt Autry is saying wind is weather, sunshine is weather, excessive heat is weather, extreme cold is weather, fog is weather. None of those things can be controlled. That's what he says. And can I just say that again? Sunshine is weather. Excessive heat is weather. It says extreme cold is weather. Fog is weather. None of those things can be controlled, even though that the United States government has patents to control all of that. And they've been doing it since they've been cloud seeding with farmers in the early 1900s. I would sit there and give you every single patent that the government has. But guess what, little old Kurt? I don't have it because things were shut down. Things were shut down because they know that I have the information that will make you understand that all this, I see, so save all of your YouTube videos and TikTok with all the top secret CIA reports that you claim read on the internet about, Operation Popeye and cloud seeding, because that proves absolutely nothing. It proves the fact that, Kurt, that you're not doing a damn thing. That here you are sitting as nothing more than a soap-grabbing simp on WWBT 12. God, do I miss the days of Sabrina Squire, Gene Cox, Ben Hamlin, and Jim Duncan. Because I'll tell you what right now, this nonsense that you're posting on Facebook and social media just makes everyone realize that you're nothing more than a soap-grabbing simp sitting there saying that, oh, hey, listen, I don't believe that the government is controlling things, even though that they have the ability due to what? Patents. Weather patents. Seeding is a minor manipulation of existing clouds. It doesn't create them. To control weather, you have to control all the elements. Listen, are you not reading the patents, Kurt? You're not reading the patents. All you're doing is sitting there telling people, there's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that people are sitting there saying this. Someone says, "Oh my gosh, you need to stop." Mary Moore says, "I need to stop." What do I need to stop about? Do I need to stop about the fact that you have news media telling you that the government has been seeding clouds? They started doing this with crops, with corn crops back in the day, and you want to say that it's not the thing. To control the elements, you have to control all the elements. Nobody can. Politics and science are like oil and water. They don't mix. I say that's horse crap. It is horse crap. But I will tell you that I'm still a fan of Kurt Autry. I am. Maybe he's just trying to sit there and say things so that I would sit there and snap back. That might be the case. But it's all just a joke. And it's all satire. I have people sitting there now texting me saying, "Oh my gosh, and blah, 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 you're being serious." I'm not being serious. Look at me. Here I am, an award-winning real media puppet. Do you see my face right now? I've been sitting there talking about all this. Do you see my face? Just having a good old time. And then people sit there and think that I actually mean English. English. And I don't mean the English when you know what I mean? When English, if I say English, some people might say English and you're thinking about the spin during a ping pong match. I don't mean that type of English. English. Comedy, humor, parody, satire, all wrapped in what it needs to be. And I'm going to tell you right now, here are the facts. Cloud seeding was just the beginning. And the control of the weather. While you might sit there and think, "Oh, I'm going to pray for God to rain," the facts are the government controls when it does. Think about that. Because I'm going to tell you, as you ponder what is real and what is not, you might say, "Oh, the weather is real. It is completely natural. And you know what? Thank God for the rain." But the question really is, did God have any control over the rain? Or was it just science that has been controlling the weather since the mud floods? And the people in charge decided to take out the future civilization that was here before us. Hashtag Tartaria. Listen, I know it is about, it's almost about noon. I'm going to play a couple of sitcom themes. I know Sir Philosopher is going to come here in just a few moments. I'll be back here in just a moment, setting the standard and raising the bar on, so we'll just be on Instagram. We'll just be on Instagram here for the finale of the show. At Sam Newsman on Instagram. Everything you have heard from this point is just parody, satire, humor, and you thought it was real. Which all that means is that you need to focus on your own imagination. The magic of nostalgia Saturday morning that made it all great. and that all of a sudden, as you were watching cartoons, you just finished your bowl of cereal. And then mom, dad, somebody comes down the stairs or comes down the hallway and they says, you need to go outside. Go outside and play. Why? Because it's time for my shows to come on. And we'll play a couple of those. We'll be back in just a moment. And then we'll close out the show. Sir Philosopher will be here. We're setting the standard. We're raising the bar. God bless America. How much money do I owe Mary Money? I have no idea. Oh, well, listen, we'll send her something. Okay, here we are. At Sam Newsman, all over social media is where you're going to find me. That's at Sam Newsman. As you continue to listen to the show, make sure you're going to WDCE 90.1 FM. I do plan to be back for one more moment here on Instagram. Just Instagram only. We'll talk about a bunch of stuff happening at Toy Town. And we'll close out the show. Citizen Germ will be here, give us our Mr. Rogers segment, and then Sir Philosopher with mixtapes, setting the standard and raising the bar. Follow me at Sam Newsman all over social media. Make sure that you are following me. That's at Sam Newsman all over social media, setting the standard and raising the bar here on the only award-winning radio show dedicated to the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real media puppet. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman. And this is Saturday morning.